Looking for the best in authentic Maltese cuisine? Then you need to dine at Georgie's on Vista. Situated in the heart of Fraser Rise, you can't go wrong when it comes to family dining. We have a menu for mum and dad, one for the kids, and one for seniors. Everyone's taken care of. Don't miss our specialty nights. Tuesday night is Parma night, where you get to choose from not one, but 5 different Parmas. Wednesday night, kids eat free with every paying adult meal. Thursday night is members night, where members get the chance to win some great prizes. And Friday night, join us for happy hour between 5:30pm to 7:30pm. Jim, Johnny, Jack and their little brother Schooner are only $5 each. Looking to get an early start Friday afternoon for a punt? Our sports bar with TAB is open from 3pm Friday afternoons. To book your table, email info@georgiesonvista.com.au. Bring the family and come dine at Georgie's on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Rise, Plumpton.
Under new management, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre is proud to provide the wider Sunbury community with a whole new fresh look and feel. Covering all forms of indoor sports from indoor soccer, cricket, netball, yoga, Pilates, darts, golf, and especially our all-new Sunbury Futsal League, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre has something for every sports enthusiast. Young budding footballers who are looking to improve their skills come in and register or trial with Sunbury City Futsal Club, coached by the highly accredited George Dibb. Be a part of one of the fastest growing sports in Australia and become a part of the new futsal pathway by representing Sunbury City Futsal Club at the upcoming Football Victoria Futsal League state titles in April. For a full overview of all that Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre has to offer, please visit our website www.sunburyindoorsports.com.au, like our Facebook page or call us on 0448 445 406. Good evening and a very, very warm welcome to you wherever you may be tuning in to this very, very special Sunday night edition of the Football Out West Show. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you tonight. My name is Tonci Prusak. I'm one half of well, let's call it the hosting team. And we have to introduce our next member. And it was his big 50th birthday bash last night, and he's feeling a little bit worse for wear. Craig Filer, how are you? Nice to see you. Right, hello. Yeah, it's Craig Filer, and I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, shall we say. It's not Craig Filer there. This is the real Craig Filer. There he is.
Yes. Good evening, Tonch. Good evening, listeners. Yes, it was my 50th birthday last night. I have to say I'm very, very fragile today. Have been in bed for most of the day. And I just like your German accent you put on me there.
So German accent. I tried my best Welsh accent. Didn't seem to do too well. But look, these masks, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. They were a prop at last night's bash, and mate, a little bit worse for wear, so to speak, but it's good to have you on board.
Thank you.
It was a real pleasure.
Great night.
First of all, happy 50th to you.
Thank you.
You don't look a day over 70 at the moment. Tell you what.
Yeah, my body feels I'm 70 today, mate. Let me tell you.
Mate, this is something new. This is something different. Big shout out to everyone who's tuning in already. In big numbers tonight. It's great to see. Sunday night, by virtue of some circumstances, unfortunately, we had to postpone Friday night's show. Tonight is a very, very special George Cross themed episode. So, Craig, we're going to have a lot of guests. Who are some of the guests that are going to be joining us a little later on in the show?
Yeah, so as usual, we'll have El Presidente himself, Mark Sultan, who's going to come on and talk everything to do with the club, and particularly an event that happened at the club yesterday. So we'll touch on that one. We have senior coach Eric Vassiliadis. He's going to come on and have a chat about the club's great start of the season. We're also going to be joined by one of the star players, Ethan Gage. He's going to come on and talk as well about the club and the season so far. And then we're going to have Tony Tenalia of Gold FM fame, who's also their
radio
media person up at the club. So she's going to come and talk everything about the media side of the things that goes on at George Cross Soccer Club.
Tony has been absolutely brilliant today, trying to combine mum duties as well as trying to get all the guests sorted and everything. So I'm looking forward to catching up with Tony a little later on in the program. That should be that should be fantastic. Mate, we're going to also, we're going to dissect all the action from the NPL, the NPL2, the NPL3, a little later on in the show, State League 1. Plus also we had the kickoff of the NPLW and Victorian Premier League women's competition as well this weekend. So lots of football happening. Big shout out to all the community teams starting this weekend as well, all around the region. Man, football is back in a big way, and it is great to have that football back, isn't it, mate?
It certainly is, mate. Yeah, it's they become long days now. Up at 7:30 for myself yesterday, and got home relatively early yesterday because of the party. They're long days now for everybody involved. But yeah, wouldn't have it any other way, Tonci.
Absolutely, mate. We're going to let you just step away for a minute now. He's not going to have the after effects of a big drinking session, rather, or maybe that is the case. No, where he's at. Craig is actually preparing for the news flash at the moment, or the news desk, if you like. But in the meantime, here's a few highlights from the weekend just gone by.
Okay. Okay, as accustomed as I am.
I don't know how to follow that, Tonci.
Back here on the Football Out West show, it's episode 54, and you've just been seeing some of the highlights from last night, Sasha.
Dreadful.
Mate, what was the do with all of those Craig Filers dressed in black shirts and black
Mrs.
pants and white?
Yeah, Mrs. Filer's got a lot to answer for. Thick as pig shit as I am, didn't realise that everybody was dressed in black and were trying to look like Craig Filer with all black and white hats, and had no idea why everybody was arriving. So, now fair play to her. Good night, great. Thanks for everybody for coming, and all the well wishers that have wished me a happy birthday over the last week or so. Really do appreciate it.
All right, we're getting serious now. Put the glasses on, the reading glasses on. So it's all serious now. Mate, let's turn our attention to the action on the field. We're going to turn our attention, first of all, to the NPL, mate. What happened over the last few days with the NPL?
Yeah, there's some big games, some big results certainly in the NPL. I'm sure you've got the leaderboard or the ladder and the results coming up on screen very shortly.
Yep.
There's the ladder after 8 rounds. South Melbourne sitting on top, 3 points ahead of Avondale and Heidelberg. Shortly followed up by Melbourne Knights and Oakley Cannons and Green Gully. But some good performances on the weekend. Myself and Steve Curtin were lucky enough to call the Melbourne Knights Altona Magic game, Tonci, up at Knight Stadium in what was a fantastic game of football, I have to say, from both sides.
Yeah, it was fantastic Friday night football. Unfortunately, because I wasn't able to be at the I was up in Melbourne the whole day. I actually managed to catch a bit of that game as well. So 2-1 victory to Melbourne Knights. It was absolutely thrilling stuff, wasn't it, Craig? It was There was a 91st minute equaliser by Magic, and then a penalty in about the 95th minute, and the Knights ended up, Gian Albano, I think, converted there in the 95th, 96th minute, and it was a 2-1 win to the Knights. But other Friday night games saw Port Melbourne and Avondale share the spoils there at JL Murphy Reserve 1-1. Bentley Greens defeated Oakley Cannons 1-0. Dandenong City and Green Gully fought out a 1-1 draw at the Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. And then on Saturday, we had 2 games there. Eastern Lions went down to Heidelberg United 1-0. And then the leaders, South Melbourne, defeated St. Albans Saints 2-0. And then last night, we had Dandenong Thunder defeat Hume City 4-3 in a high-scoring affair. So after 8 rounds, as you can see, folks, the ladder is there, and South Melbourne have opened up a commanding 3-point lead over Avondale FC and Heidelberg, and Melbourne Knights jump back into the top 4 with the win there. But next Friday, Craig, we've got some big games. Once again, 3 big games on the Friday night. Green Gully taking on Melbourne Knights. Now, that should be a top game, 6 versus 4 in the Western Suburbs derby.
Yeah, that's going to be a cracker. If both teams are playing some good football, so that should be a cracker. But Green Gully Reserve next Friday, and that's followed with Dandenong City taking on top versus bottom on Friday night as well. Dandenong looking to get their first win of the season, and try and start to move up that ladder.
Well, they had a good result against Green Gully at Frank Holohan Reserve, so they return there, looking to claim the scalp of South Melbourne. Oakley Cannons are at home to Eastern Lions. And then on a Saturday, we've got another 4 games. Avondale home to Dandenong Thunder. Heidelberg United taking on Port Melbourne Sharks in the Greek Derby. Hume City hosting St. Albans Saints. And then Altona Magic taking on Bentley Greens. And that will bring up the round 9. So turning our attention now, mate, to NPL 2. And there's the complete NPL 2 ladder. And we've got some of the results of the games played in NPL 2. We have.
I've just lost them, so you bear with me 1 second.
The first one that we had was...
Moreland Zebras and Northcote on Friday evening. Obviously, Northcote coming away with a win there up at CB Smith Reserve. Yesterday, Moreland City drawing 1-1 with North Geelong. North Geelong having Anthony Banovac sent off for his second yellow card early in the second half, and did really well to keep them at bay because they were under the pump for that second half for sure. The surprise of the round for me is Langwarrin losing at home to Werribee City, unbeaten before the game, 3 wins out of 3, losing to Werribee City, who were at the bottom of the league at the stage.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw the game the previous round's game, which we called Craig down at Alco Park, North Geelong and Werribee City, which North Geelong defeated Werribee City 5-2. And look, apart from a few patches, Werribee City looked rather disappointing, didn't they?
Yeah,
what a turnaround though.
They had a 1 or 2 some good plays in there. But that's some result to go down to Langwarrin, and it's a long old drive, and to get down there and and as I said, undefeated in 3 games and taking the scalp. So fantastic win for Werribee.
Yeah, absolutely. The other result, Manningham United Blues going down to Pascoe Vale 2-0. Goulburn Valley Suns, the previous league leaders, they had their colours lowered to Kingston City FC, and as a result, Kingston City now jumped to the, equal top of the ladder, but better on goal difference, I suppose. So Kingston, Goulburn Valley and Langwarrin sharing equal top spot with 9 points from a possible 12. And then on Monday night to complete the round of matches, or the round 4 of matches, Bulleen Lions hosting Brunswick City. Important game. Brunswick City, if they defeat the Lions, they could actually go outright top. Yeah, so a very important game there for Brunswick Lions indeed. Moving along now to NPL. So NPL 3, we're going to try and get through as quickly as possible through some of these results because
We've got so much to cover today. But the NPL 3 ladder, look at the top there. Preston Lions. Wow. 4 games, 4 wins. Craig, they are doing well, are they not?
Yeah, look, they're the team. Obviously, everybody has to beat this year. There's no two ways about it. They've got a really strong supporter base, as we all know. They have, God knows how many's going to be there at the game on Saturday, because they actually take on North Sunshine Eagles on Saturday.
Wow.
It's expected that a crowd of over 5,000 is going to turn up for that game next Saturday. So yeah, look, they're the team to beat. Doveton also doing well. The two promotion places from last season, occupying both first and second. Obviously, Western United there in third. Geelong Soccer Club, who had a good win on Friday evening.
They drew actually against Western United.
Sorry, yeah, they did. Sorry, my fault. Melbourne City, and obviously down the bottom of the league there, Whittlesea Rangers, still to get off the mark, having played 3 and a -10 goal difference. So it's going to be a tough season for them.
Now, we do have a couple of results that are not fixed, counted in that. Thanks to Brent and Ray for sending these results through, by the way. So, obviously, we had Ballarat City draw with Box Hill United 2-2. Nunawading City had their colours lowered 2-1 to Preston Lions. Melbourne City defeated Doveton 4-0. Geez, what a weekend it was for Melbourne City. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. But they defeated Doveton 4-0. Doveton, who had won 3 games from 3 games and looking very pretty, undefeated at the top, had their first loss of the season. Melbourne Victory also went down to Whittlesea Rangers 1-2. Springvale White Eagles, we mentioned that they and North Sunshine drew through 3-3. So Preston Lions are at the top with 12 points, but then you've got Melbourne City and Doveton on 9 points, and then Western United on 8. So Preston Lions have certainly opened up a commanding lead at the top. And if we do go through some of those round 5 fixtures, on Friday night, Springvale White Eagles taking on Doveton, the wounded Doveton. Preston Lions, as you mentioned, Craig, hosting North Sunshine Eagles. Now, it says here Saturday, 24th of April at 3 p.m.
Yep.
That's interesting. It's not a Friday night game, but I guess maybe wonder if it's to do with security reasons.
I would have thought, Friday night. Can you imagine how many be there on a Friday night?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as you said, 5,000. Oh, geez, you can expect a massive amount of supporters there, if you like, I suppose. But Ballarat City taking on Western United, also Saturday afternoon up at the magnificent Moosehead Park Stadium in Ballarat. Nunawading City hosting Melbourne Victory. Nunawading City, Michael Ong's team. Michael Ong is a regular, viewer, regular follower of our show. It's good to catch up with Michael on Sunday. Yeah, we should actually. Good to catch up with Michael down at Darebin on Friday afternoon. Box Hill United taking on Melbourne City, and then the last game will be Geelong taking on Whittlesea Rangers. That's Saturday afternoon at Stead Park at 5:30 p.m. So lots of fun and action happening there in the NPL. Now, mate, before we go any further, I guess we can also have a look at Victorian Premier League women's as well. So that happened. That kicked off the Victorian Premier League women's, and obviously there's quite a fair few Western Suburbs teams that are playing in that competition as well. We can go through some of the results there, but that was played today, round 1. Preston Lions defeated Casey Comets 3-0. South Yarra defeated the Melbourne Knights 4-1. Melbourne Uni Soccer Club went down to Southern United 1-0. Up in Geelong, which I was involved in calling the game, Geelong Galaxy lost to Whitehorse United, a very impressive Whitehorse United, 3-1. And then tonight, the Burundara Carey Eagles are taking on the Eltham Redbacks at the State Football Centre, and that game kicked off just several minutes ago, 7:15. Very late on a Sunday night, isn't it, to have a game?
Yeah, it is. I think another club that play the games on a Sunday, or certainly North Geelong, are playing Kingston City away on Sunday in a few weeks' time, and I think the kickoff is 7:45 on a Sunday.
On a Sunday night.
So that's a long old trek for anybody on a Sunday, especially Geelong.
That is a very, very strange one. You wouldn't think that there's no holiday on the following day, is there? No, we don't. We're not having the Anzac Day holiday this weekend this year. No. But mate, let's turn our attention. We don't really cover the A-League much, but last night at your party in the background, we had the big screen happening, and I thought for 1 minute when I looked over, I thought it was a replay of the Melbourne Victory game, the previous one where City had destroyed Victory 6-0. But lo and behold, when I saw a 7th goal pop up, good Lord, I was thinking Brebner couldn't possibly last long, and guess what? He's been given the boot.
Disgraceful. Look, I'm not a Victory fan by any stretch of the imaginations, but to concede 13 goals in 2 games against Melbourne City this season and score none, questions certainly have to be asked. And I actually thought when he got the job that he was going to go a pretty good job. You know, he came in at the end of last season and bleeded some youngsters in there. And I thought, right, okay, maybe they're going to go, but it's just been a disaster from day one for him. So can we blame him? Look, at the end of the day, the coach is there. He lives and buys by his results.
Yeah.
And, he hasn't got the results. But I think, and I'm sure the comments will start coming in. There's bigger issues at that football club than the playing side, I think, and you have to look at the recruitment and the managers that they've had now since Kevin Muscat's I think there's 4 now since Kevin Muscat's gone. So there's something deeper in that football club that needs to be resolved.
I agree, absolutely agree with you on that. So look, what do you say? Look, I'm not a Victory fan myself, but I really don't like seeing the Victorian clubs doing so woefully poorly, and that has been the case. But Western United down in Tasmania defeating Central Coast Mariners 1-0. Good result there, Craig. And obviously, they can, with the few of those wins that they've got, the games up their sleeve, they can certainly inch their way up closer towards the top of the ladder.
Yeah, good win on the road in their second new home. So down there in Tasmania, and obviously the club made a big song and dance about the football festival of football that was happening down there.
Is it the second new home or the 4th new home?
Yeah, who knows?
or 26th new home? I don't know.
But it was a good win. Games in hand as well for Western United, as Michael Long has said, and they win those and they're right back. The only disappointment for me was the game was played on an AFL pitch, and that's a bit that disappoints me. You take it somewhere else. You play on a football pitch, not an AFL pitch. But hey, that's my opinion.
I agree, mate. Absolutely, completely agree with you, mate. Sunday night football. It is. It's something different. It's something we're trying, and it's something we've been discussing for a while. And look, what we'd love to hear from people out there. Some people have already made a couple of comments, and thank you for that. Sunday evening football show, says Michael on. True. Friday nights is no good. People training. Yep, thanks, Michael. We'd love to hear from other people as well. What do you think of this new time slot? Look, at the moment, this is a one-off, but we are seriously contemplating moving to another time because Friday nights is difficult, and your availability, my availabilities also dictate what we can and can't do. But, a Sunday night program where we're able to do a review of all the games. I guess the only problem, Craig, though, is that some clubs still are not good at updating their scores on the...
but we have Brenton Ray.
We have Brenton Ray, we do. He is incredible, that guy. He is the news hound. So, and Brenton was able to give us some of the results that have not yet been publicised. Don't know how he gets them. He's not going to divulge his
no, he did actually. There is a site that he uses that he did put up on Facebook early in the week. I'll try. I'm sure he's listening, and he'll come up with it in a moment and tell us what it is. But he does a great job of giving us all the results from around the country. But yeah, just looking at Michael's, this is the normal time slot, isn't it? Well, we haven't done a Sunday night show for quite some time.
Yeah,
Michael, we decided that we were going to go to a Friday night purely and simply because we thought it would be great to get clubs involved prior to the games on the weekend, talk to coaches, talk to players. But as it happens, with the NPL now having, as it was last week, 5 games on a Friday night, a lot of people are out watching the game. So we think it's probably best that we trial a Sunday night again, see what the numbers are like, and hopefully we can make this a regular spot.
Absolutely, mate. Now, we're going to take a break. We're going to listen to a few of the sponsors and what they have to say. When we return, it's going to be all about our club tonight. It's Sunshine George Cross. Sunshine. Caroline Springs George Cross. Old habits die hard. And we've got some great guests tonight. The first one is going to be, obviously, the president himself, Mark Sultana, who's going to be giving us a post-mortem of a very, very emotional day yesterday at Fraser Rise. It was a tribute to the late, great Ed Gauci. So don't go away, folks. We're going to be right back.
Hands for Hire is a free platform that connects people looking for more work in their downtime, and also businesses who want to list jobs on a casual basis. Are you finding that you have spare time and could actually be earning extra money? Or do you need a hand on a casual basis and don't want to employ a full-time worker? Hands for Hire is the app to help you fill that time yourself without paying huge fees to recruiting agents or labour hire companies. Signing up is completely free, without any obligation.
Welcome back to the Football Out West show. It is episode 54. Great to have you all on board. Big shout out to our sponsor, our major sponsor, the George Cross Football Club, and also our episode sponsor tonight, Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports. Paul de Blasi out there at Sunbury Indoor Sports. He'll look after you. Keep the comments coming, folks. We've got some great comments. Chris Briffa says, hey, Tonci and Craig, Friday night hard, Sunday night better. Relay all the results. And if supporters call in and comment about all the matches, that's a great idea. I like the idea of reintroducing talkback. Absolutely. Even supporters around the ground taking little bits of videos and sending them into us so we can put them as part of the show on the Sunday would be fantastic as well. Yeah, doesn't take long. It's these days with the iPhones, the Samsung Galaxies and what your nots, it's quite easy to do, and the footage is just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Big shout out to Maxi Santich, another person I caught up with on Friday night. Good to see. Giselle, welcome Harris. That's Dale Harris's better half, who coach of Barwon Soccer Club.
Big happy birthday to the ugly man down there. It's his birthday today.
His as well.
It's his birthday today, so wish Dale a very happy birthday.
Seems to be the season for ugly people having birthdays. Is that right, Craig? Anyway, Giselle says Sunday evening time slot is better for our household. So there you go. So great stuff. Great people at Sunbury Indoor Sports, says Maxi Santich. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all your comments and keep them coming in. But it's now time to welcome our first guest for tonight. He's the president of the George Cross Football Club. He is the head honcho, the head guru, the man in the know, Mark Sultana, the president. Mark, absolute pleasure to have you on the show once again, and welcome to the program.
No, thank you. And you can hear me loud and clear?
Absolutely. Perfect.
We can always hear you, Mark.
Oh, thank you.
Never too far away. Mark, the boys have started fantastically on the park. We'll talk a little bit later with Coach Eric Vasiliadis and also the Vice Captain Ethan Gage. But, mate, 4 wins from 4 games, sitting pretty on top of the State League 1 ladder. You must be one pretty happy president at the moment.
1 week at a time, guys. Just
keep rolling
through. Just keep it going and keep everybody invested and make sure we know what we need to do. And realistically, it's a credit to all the players and the coaching staff and everyone at the club. It's we obviously, it hasn't been kept quiet that we want to do what we need to do for all our members and fans. They've been waiting a long time to try and at least, put ourselves in a position to obviously try and get promoted. But look, it's a good start, and let's keep it going, and let's keep a balance on it, and we'll still keep going.
We certainly will, and it's great to see all the publicity that the club is getting as well. So, yesterday, a big day for the club for a number of reasons. Obviously, a celebration of the late great Ed Gauci, against a local derby, I suppose. In many ways, a local derby and a Maltese local derby.
Right,
and of course, the celebration of Ed. How did that go for you yesterday? What was it like? What was the feeling around the club?
Oh, look, I'm getting cold shivers again. But great. I've got to say that I think we don't do enough of it. Really, is to honour men of the quality that Ed is, and Ed was to us at the club, but also for Altona City. He was also close with them as well, and he had a very strong belief that as a Maltese community we can really produce good football and again produce a really good product for both our clubs. So it has become a bit of a rivalry / derby game for us all. As much as we lost Eddie, they lost Tony Casso, which was really sad as well. So for as special as it was for us yesterday, it was special for them too. I've got to commend all the staff and everybody involved, both teams, both clubs, all our juniors in terms of the support and really just the understanding of what Ed really gave us as a club. He united the club. He and his group united the club for bringing the juniors and the seniors all together under pretty much one facility, which was amazing. But look, there was a lot of emotions. I've got to reach out to, like I said, all the staff and Joyce helped with all the ticketing. You've got Josh, who runs the events and who's the bistro manager, and all his staff. Lisa, Tony, the whole board. I mean, it was a massive day. The family were very appreciative, and it was, look, like I said, it was a heartfelt day for, look, there they are on screen. I mean, whew.
Yeah, mate. It was a tough day, but it also looked like it was a celebratory day of a man whose legacy, I guess, and will be enjoyed by generations to come, is the incredible, amazing Fraser Rise complex. And look, he was lucky enough, I guess, to see that in the end, and that is something that I guess everyone will be very, very happy about. Look, it's. I mean, do you sometimes pinch yourself? And Ed was one of those people that typified a lot of the members there at the club. But do you sort of sometimes pinch yourself at some of the amazing people involved at the club that you're surrounded by that have done so well in their own little way and continue to do so? And at the end of the day, you've got this amazing facility, an amazing club, but more so just this phenomenal community spirit that's just very all embracing is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, so well said, Tonci. The Mayor Councillor, Kathy Majulak, she spoke. I mean, there were a number of councillors there as well, and her speech was amazing in terms of, again, it was emotional for her as well. But again, you're right. I mean, we're extremely positive. We know that we've been somewhat blessed to have this facility, but we have, there was a lot of sacrifice for a lot of years from the club. So, it is well deserved. But the fact that we've embraced it as a club and as a community, and not only just the Maltese community, but all communities in the Fraser Rise area and Caroline Springs area, is really testament to what Ed really wanted for us by having the bar and the bistro and the function room. And then just to be able to bring the community to the club. We sold a heap of memberships yesterday, which was great. There's a real buzz around there, albeit, obviously you're seeing teams winning, so that just adds a bit of spice to it as well. But our under-14s topped their NPL grading, and so that was great. And then, you've got other NPL teams that exceeded a little bit better than probably what we may have thought they did. And, and then again, you've just got all your community clubs, and then you've got all your mini roos starting, and then you've got your women's program starting. And Yeah, look, it's a big club, and we really are enjoying it. And I think yesterday just gave us the ability to express the amount of love we have for Ed and for what he's given us and how he's put this club back on the map. And look, I'm only doing what he asked me to do a number of years ago to take this on. And if we can all stick together, which I think we are, showing that to all the soccer community, how strong and united we are as a soccer club, that hopefully we'll get back to where we need to be. And I think that's a real importance of all of us, and that's what we love about George Cross, everyone. So yeah, it's great, and I'm proud of everyone, mate. It's a very enjoyable place to be.
Yeah, look, Mark, you can sense in the way that you're talking how emotional you are about this whole situation, and it's testament to everybody at the club. It was a big loss last year. The club's bounced back. Football's back, and the club's going in a fantastic direction. So long may that continue. But just touching on to obviously the ladies, they kicked off their first game up in Ballarat today. Wasn't a successful day for them on the pitch, but a successful day in terms of the senior campaign getting up and running. And you were at the game, I think.
Yeah, no, I went to Ballarat. Sat in my car on my own. Just wanted to have a look at where they're at, and because I understand that they are our senior women's team. And look, we copped a couple of silly goals and things like that, but it just goes to show that we've got to be extremely invested in them. And I think I made a couple of little phone calls on the way just to get a bit of an understanding of where it's all at and what how do we do things. And the last thing we want, because it is our first real year for that program, is to really have a clear message and a direction, what the expectation level is, so that they don't lose their drive for the game. So look, yeah, it was good, and like I said, it was a little disappointing with the result, but I sent a message to all the coaches tonight and said that let's stick together, let's be strong for everybody, and give everybody the opportunity to help them through it, because there's a lot of experience around the club, and albeit we need to support them just as much as we do everybody else.
Now, Mark, you did mention earlier that quite a few memberships were sold yesterday. There is a little bit of a euphoric feeling, I guess, permeating at the club at the moment, which is great to see. I guess what I wanted to ask is do you see maybe as a result of the everyone coming back after the COVID lockdowns and what you're not, when 2020 was such a wasted year on so many fronts, are you noticing people at the club coming back with this extra enthusiasm than they normally would have at the start of the season? And would you put that down to just the general vibe at the club, or would you also put that down to the fact that we only realise what we're missing when we've missed it? So football last year was a big miss, wasn't it?
Oh, look, Tonci, again, mate, you're on fire tonight with some of these questions. I mean, it's so true.
It's good to get him back, isn't it? So,
yeah.
We're in episode 54, mind. It's taken 54 shows for him to get 2 questions. Good.
Hunger is not the right word. I think the fact that, mate,
good questions.
I love it. I actually should have had some of those at the game. That would have been great. Look, again, enthusiasm, unbelievable. The fact that Lisa and George were so organised in coming back and made that transition back into football and training very, very seamless. I've got to say to you, it's about building up confidence. I think in the early days of it, just general participation through the bar and the bistro was a little slow. But the fact that, I suppose us as people in the state of Victoria have done an outstanding job in not really allowing any more waves come through. I mean, the second wave was a real massive shock to us all. I've got to say to you again, it is really big for us. We were getting strong numbers through the bar and the bistro again, albeit on certain nights, not every night. We chose not to open Sundays, but that will change shortly once we can understand what product we can deliver for that in terms of, and now that NPL's playing on the Sundays and how we open up for that. Yeah. Again, just general participation, strong. All our teams are full. Lost a goalkeeper last week in 15's community, but we'll sort that out. But, again, just little bits and pieces just show you the smile on the faces, mate, really is the main thing. I think the fact that you've got that real urge for success, and I think the real desire just to be at the club, whether it's just as parents, coaches, or team managers, or just general public, is again, we are George Cross, and I think I get so much satisfaction in seeing what Preston's been able to do in terms of the participation in their games. And you think about two big clubs that have been sitting in the wilderness for a little while, and what a clear statement both clubs are making in terms of that we just don't want to be forgotten. We have a great community behind us, both clubs do. And, again, I suppose a lot of people sort of refer to that NSL stuff. Look, we were part of it, and unfortunately, things prevailed. But I think I'm not saying that we need to be, back at the very, very top immediately. I think it's a gradual understanding that we'll just work progressively to make sure where we land correctly as a club. But I tell you, the buzz you get when you're around Preston and George Cross, and that real urge for success and that real community backing is certainly something that some of these A-League teams would just love to have on board. So short of me telling you that the B-League is something that we're very eager to have, it'd be amiss of me not to say that that's a massive desire for all of us still. And you'll see through the support of this program tonight how invested a lot of the George Cross people and just general soccer people or football people really understand what clubs like both Preston and us can bring to the table. So,
well, I think you only got to see Facebook coverage of the Preston home games. The Melbourne victory the week before last. Getting 3,500-4,000 people at the game is unbelievable at this level, and it just shows how big. Clubs like Preston and George Cross, and Chris Griffiths just wrote there, the sleeping giants of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You struggle to get 5,000 at an A-League game, Mark.
Yeah, look, we hosted Preston and Springvale White Eagles. They had a couple of issues with their pitch, Springvale, but we offered them the facility, and they were able to take the gate, which was really, really good result for them. But geez, Preston supported it, and I mean, Zach and I have conversations, and, I think when you really structure your club and you really give your club a clear direction of where it needs to be, I think you get so much buy-in from, like I said, not only from your members, but just from the general football public, to understand that, there's a lot of good clubs out there that just need a little bit of a support. And, once we get that ball rolling, off we go. I mean, if you talk about the constitution of the senior squads and the reserves and the 18s and so forth all the way through to NPL, it was a massive task for all of us at George Cross. And, seeing that Preston doesn't have an NPL presence from a junior point of view is a slightly disappointing point for myself as well. And I'm not just pushing their barrow because we have a great affiliation with them, but when you see what they do to the game and what they bring to the game just from a supporter base, clubs like that need to be rewarded. And then you look at administrators like we have at our club in terms of, Lisa Jurich and George Giro, and you think to yourself, we are there to become a highly professional football club, not only from a state one, because that's where we are at the moment, but also from a very NPL juniors program, community mini roos, and also for the fact that we believe that we can get to a higher grade in football is, again, something that we all are very hungry for at George Cross. And I think, again, supporting programs like this, mate, it just gives us the ability to really, really understand that we believe we have a very strong product and we wish to share it with a lot of people out there. And like I said, come and eat at our club, and you can become social members for a small fee and you get discounts on your foods. But Friday nights are big. Thursday nights are getting bigger. We had 60 for bingo on Tuesday. We have a poker night on a Friday night. And when you think about how much it encompasses in terms of just a business model alone, and then you attach all these football clubs and all the football teams, it's, if you don't have a person like Lisa Jurich or George Giro or the board, mate, and Josh and the bar and the bistro. Yep. Yesterday was just about coming together, celebrating something that was driven by a man that had a very, very big passion for this club and very big passion for football, not just the club alone, but football in Victoria. And it was able for all of us to showcase what a great family he had and how great it was for them to share him with us. I think a lot of people forget that they have to share Ed. You know, they had to share Ed for us. He sacrificed a lot of time with his family on behalf of George Cross, and we were able to come together and really have a chat and a chin wag and a cry about what the club, where it was, and where it will be, and if it's a legacy that has been pushed by that great man to wake us all up in the Maltese community and all of us as George Cross supporters, well then, you know, a day like that is really what was deserved. So again, thank you to everybody.
Mark, we could talk with you for hours, and we probably will one day. And there is so much to get through tonight. So we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for an insight into what was a truly special, truly emotional, but truly celebratory day as well yesterday. One last note: you talked about the B League, or the second national second division. Behind the scenes, what's the latest? We haven't heard too much happening behind the scenes, but what's going on there?
Football Victoria held an event at Parkville there just to have it, and where James Johnson came and spoke to everybody. And look, he was talking about 2023 was a year that he was mentioned. A slight little bit of worry from my end that he said there's a slight disconnect in football, which I'm not quite sure how he means that, whether he means that from a community side or whether it is from, you know, the A-League and so forth. That was slightly a little concerning on my behalf. But look, you know, again, just look at where George Cross and Preston are coming from, and then you've still got South Melbourne Knights and other clubs that, you know, in the Victorian, and then you've also got all the interstate clubs. Queensland are doing a great job. I think they're very, very keen to get it up and going, and I think your, you know, genuine few clubs that are out of Sydney and Adelaide and Western Australia. I think everyone just needs to understand what business model works, and I think if we can come together with that, and I don't think that's all that difficult. I think the AAFC are doing a really good job in trying to sort of land that correctly for everybody. But again, my belief is that it will happen. It's just that we really need to push that day and say, right, we are going to do it, and this is how we're going to do it. And I think you'll get a massive buy-in. And like I said all along, hopefully George Cross is in a position that we can apply for one of those licenses. And looking at how professional we are, I think, I would think that we would be looked at from a criteria base heavily. So,
All right,
but look, again, before we go, sorry guys, before we all go, again, a massive thank you to everyone. Massive thank you to you. Massive thank you to all the fans and the juniors that supported the game yesterday, and a massive, congratulations to all our squads, and especially our senior squad, who's really putting us on the map again. And let's go, Georgies. Thank you very much.
Good on you, Mark. Like I said, we'd love to chat to you longer, but we do have Eric Vasiliadis on the line. He's itching to get in. Apparently, it's half time of a game that he's playing in, so you better not keep the man waiting. He's coming to us directly from his game.
No
Mark,
worries.
all the very best, and thank you very much.
Guys.
And
Thanks,
catch up
Mark.
with you in the not too distant future.
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support.
No worries. Thank you. Cheers.
That was Mark Sultana, the president of George Cross. And Craig, we've got the man, the leader. We had the leader off the field. Now we've got the leader on the field, Eric Vasiliadis, the coach of the senior men's team. He's joining us, and he joins us on the program. Eric, welcome to the show.
You haven't been running. Hi, guys. You haven't been running. There's not a chance that you've been running.
Mate, Mr. Filer, you should know. I'm too smart to run these days.
That centre circle's getting a good roll, is it?
Eric, first of all, congratulations on the start to the season. What a ripper start to the season it has been. Doing exceptionally well as far as the 4 games, 4 wins. What more could you possibly want? How have you seen the start of the State League One season so far this year?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for giving us a chance on the show. So, look, to be honest, pretty predictable season. You know, very, very challenging, difficult to sort of form too many conclusions on who you're playing against because of all the interruptions. So we're turning up to each game with not really understanding who we're playing against, which has been pretty hard for us. So that's meant we've had to really just focus on ourselves. But from my perspective, given like most clubs, a very interrupted pre-season, it's good to get off to a good start. Probably haven't played our best football. I know it's a little bit cliche to say we've got a lot of improvement in front of us, but I think for us, the boys' attitude, the whole squad's mentality has been the most pleasing thing for me, of course.
As you can see, the ladder there, Caroline Springs on top with 12 points. Brimbank Stallions on 10 points. Now, we've got a few other scores that are not included there. So we'll go through all the scores, by the way. Keilor Park defeated Corio Soccer Club 3-0 yesterday. Sydenham Park defeated Clifton Hill 3-1. Yarraville and Brimbank Stallions drew 1-1. Obviously, we know that Caroline Springs George Cross defeated Altona City 2-0 in that rather emotional game at Fraser Rise yesterday. Banyule City had an away win over Fitzroy City 2-0. And then Essendon Royals, they defeated Whittlesea 2-1. So the Royals now, they're on 9 points. So they're close to the top there. But Brimbank Stallions currently second. And then obviously you guys are up the top. Craig, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think you just touched on it there. It's going to be very, very tight. Probably 5 or 6 clubs are well within grasp of winning that league. So, from your side of things, you started really well. 4 out of 4, not playing your best football. Obviously, the best to come. You've recently signed a player from one of your competition teams. Ryan Newman, who's come over from Sydenham Park. I believe he scored the winner yesterday for you guys. How's he settled into your squad there, Eric?
Oh, look, I think he's settled in well. To be honest, we've brought in quite a few players. So Craig, to be in a position to have a squad gelling and connecting and playing the way we want to play is great. Ryan's played his part absolutely. He's been a great addition for us. But like I said earlier, I think, whilst we're not sort of conceding a lot of chances, we probably could be a little bit better in front of goal. I think across the board we can still be a little bit better in that front third, and maybe make it a little bit more comforting for us late in the game. But yeah, Ryan's done a really good job for us, as has the rest of the squad, to be honest. DK, Gagey, Summers. Yeah. I mean, for me, the most pleasing thing is for people to come up to me and say, players are playing their best football. So that's what we want to see. We want to get the best out of everybody in that squad.
Turning our attention to this next weekend, coming up against Clifton Hill away from home, so playing at Quarries Park there. Clifton Hill seem to be that side. Look, at the moment, 1 win and 3 losses, so they seem to be struggling. But always a difficult side, especially away from home. Expecting a tough game? What are you expecting from them?
Oh, I've actually had the pleasure of watching a couple of their games, so I've got a fair idea of what they're going to bring. Obviously, coached by a very close friend of mine in Leeds Mercus. I think you summed it up beautiful, John Tonci. A really, really strong, culturally built club that are going to give it everything they've got. And down at Quarry Park, it's going to be a real battle for us. So, look. We're just going to have to go out and make sure that we're where we need to be with our mentality, and I'm hopeful we can get over the line, but it's going to be another challenging one for us. And speaking to Lee, I know that he's been in every single game he's played this year, so I expect the same this week.
And just touching on yourself there, so you say it's half time in your game. What game are you 5-a-side? Are you on the Xbox, or what are you doing?
Just a bit of over 35s, Craig. The over 45s are playing as well, if you're interested, mate. And so happy 50th birthday for the other day.
Thank you, mate. Thanks very much. Look, we're really looking forward to seeing how, and we'll let you go shortly, but we're really looking forward to seeing how you guys do for the remainder of the season. Great start to you and the boys. 9 goals conceded, 1 good start. Lots more to come from you, I'm sure, throughout the season. And we wish you all the very best, mate.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, all the best. And like I said, for us, we go into every game hoping to win, but as do 11 other teams. So I look forward to hopefully doing some more good stuff.
Now, Eric, before we let you go, coming up straight after this is your vice captain, Ethan Gage. He's going to say a couple of things without you listening in. What do you think he's going to say about you? What sort of a coach is he going to say that you are?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say, he's got a delightful Canadian accent, so he's probably going to romanticise the audience with that beautiful accent of his. What's he going to say? Hopefully some good stuff. But look, for us, Gage has been a huge, huge success story. Someone that I brought probably was one of my first 2 or 3 signings when I got the job 2 years ago. And here's another one that I think's playing the best football he's played in a long time. So a player we immensely respect, and I hope he says some nice things.
Oh, look, let's bring him on. So he might be on here as we speak there. Welcome to the show, Ethan Gage. Romanticize us with that Canadian accent of yours.
Oh, I don't know if it's that nice, but everybody seems to like a foreign accent.
Ethan, thank you very much for joining us. Eric, thank you very much for joining us as well. We'll let you get back to your game, but really appreciate it. But thank you for taking some time out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate.
That was Eric Vasiliadis, the coach of Caroline Springs George Cross. I think we're just taking Ethan off accidentally. Oh, if Ethan can come back on, that would be very good if we could do that. I think I've just pressed the wrong button. Damn it. But Craig, while we still wait for Ethan to get back on, let's go very, very quickly through the ladder. This was planned, by the way, so it could give us a chance to go through next week's games. Here we go. Ethan's about to jump on very, very shortly. Next week's games, we've got some important games happening for the State 1 competition. But Caroline Springs, I mean, to the average punter, just looking like that, they seem to be doing very, very well. And all the plans seem to be, moving towards the Georgies getting closer and closer to that NPL status.
Yeah, look, it's a long season. It's 22 games. They're only 4 games into it. They are sitting on top of the ladder. But as we say, anything can happen in football, Tonci. It changes from one week to the next, and you only need a bad result and then another one, and everything spirals out of coordination. So they're doing a great job up there. They're top of the ladder. As I said to Eric, long may it continue, and hopefully they can get promoted and get into the NPL and do similar things to what Preston Lions are doing, because it shows that if you have the right club and you have the right mentality and you have a winning mentality, then you can do what you want, and that's I think that's key to any football club.
Ethan, welcome back to the program. We accidentally cut you off there, unfortunately, but you're back there. 4 wins for 4 games, mate. Is it what you expected at the start of the season, or has it actually surpassed your expectations?
No, that was the expectation. Anything less wouldn't do, honestly. With the team makers and Mark and the whole Georgie's organization is built, we've signed some really significant players. And we've come out swinging. I wouldn't expect anything less than 4 wins.
And how's the performances in that games? And Mark said that probably haven't played the best football. The best is still to come. How have you found? Mark was just saying there personally, on a personal note, he thinks you're playing the best football that he's seen you play in the 2 years that you've been there. What do you say to that?
Oh, I appreciate those kind words. Whether I think I'm playing my best, I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think personally I need a little bit of another. There's a few things not clicking just yet, but us as a group, I'd agree that the best is to come. We're winning games, I would say, relatively comfortably, but we're creating a lot more chances. I think there's a few players that just need a little bit of fine tuning, and we'll get there. We're not far off our top game, but no, definitely the best is to come.
Well, let's turn our attention to next week. So round 5, Brimbank Stallions at home to Sydenham Park, 2 big clubs there. Essendon Royals at home to your old club, Corio Soccer Club. Great to see them in the same division. Keilor Park at home to Yarraville FC. Altona City hosting Banyule City, and Whittlesea United taking on Fitzroy City. That's on Sunday. In your eyes, who do you think are the teams that you guys really have to be wary of, the teams that are really going to trouble you this year?
Well, before the season started, word was that it was going to be us, Essendon, Sydenham, and Altona would be the top teams. Looking at it now, Brimbank's always going to be in there. They're doing quite well. So Essendon at the moment will be I'd imagine our biggest rivals. We've obviously played Sydenham and Altona, and we've done well against them. So I'm looking forward to playing against Essendon. I'm actually more worried about I like those big games. You get everybody's pumped for those. They're all ready for the game. But it's more when you play some of the teams in the bottom half that are actually a bit scary. Because if you come in with the wrong mentality, if you come in thinking, "Oh, we've won this game already," like you'll have a rude awakening. So.
Yeah, and you look down the bottom of the league there, and Banyule were tipped to be one of the top teams this year as well, and they sat down there in 11th place, only 1 point with a -5 goal difference. So at some point they're going to kick into action. Kelo Park had a great win yesterday down at Carrillo that moves them up the table. I think they're now in 6th place, so they've gone from 10th to 6th. So I think in this league, it's going to be very, very close. And the teams that win their games early on and can create a bit of, will go on and do very well. I think it's going to be a very, very tight league.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think the first few games are very important. As you mentioned, you need to get some momentum, and that also builds a bit of intimidation as well. Like if you're playing against a team that is on a winning streak, on fire, it's intimidating, especially when teams come to our ground, because we have obviously very nice, brand new facilities. It's top notch, and when teams come to our place and we've won 3, 4, 5, 6 games or whatever, like it's going to be intimidating for them. So we just need to keep doing what we're doing and just work on fine-tuning little things here and there, and we'll be flying.
And the other side to that, of course, as well. Sorry, Tonci. The other side to that is when teams do come to City Vista at the moment, some of those teams won't have played on that facility. So all of a sudden, they're turning up to this fantastic facility. They're looking forward to going and playing them. So they don't tend to have any nerves as such because they're playing on this fantastic, well-maintained, well-kept ground. Yeah,
definitely. Coming to, again, our grounds with that sort of a good pitch, pretty slick. It'll be a challenge. Every game's going to be a challenge for us because at the moment we're the team to beat. So teams will be coming trying to prove a point. Some teams will come over with nothing to lose sort of scenario. So we got to be mentally prepared pretty much for every single game. So.
Now, Ethan, we like to talk about positive things on the show, the Football Out West. We're all about positive things, and your experiences, I guess, at all the clubs that you've been here since coming over from Canada. What are some of the positive things that stand out? Let's start off with your first club down Geelong Way, Carrillo Soccer Club. What were some of the most positive things that you had down there? Please don't say Joey Giacomazzo and Santino Momoni. They're great constant viewers of this show. They're legendary, they're iconic. But what really stood out for you during your time at Hume Reserve?
I really thoroughly enjoyed my time, honestly. I was in a situation where I wasn't happy with football, and I was to be honest with you, I was coming close to just giving it up because I was living in Sweden at the time, and I just wasn't happy. And it was a funny situation how I found myself to Carrillo. I got in touch with the president, Mario Gregorio, and it was almost like love at first sight between him and I. We got along really, really well, and at the club there was a lot of good crew of players, and I had a lot of fun. I think I played there about 3 months, and then I had a fair few clubs that were interested, and then obviously I jumped to Bentley Greens. But in Carrillo, I love Geelong as well. It's just a lovely city, little city there. So.
Absolutely. Good on you. Good answer there. And Bentley Greens, you moved on to Bentley Greens. What were some of the things there that you enjoyed? Maybe the souvlaki's, or was it something else?
It was just a good team to play for. It was just funny from going from Carrillo straight to Bentley. It was a big hop, and I got a bit fortunate with the visa situation, so everything worked out quite well. And then it was a bit of a rush thing because I think I signed like a day or two before the transfer window closed. But I had a lot of fun there. I think literally my second game playing for them, we played in against Heidelberg in the cup there, and
FA Cup, yeah.
The Donkey Cup there.
Donkey Cup, yeah.
We ended up winning, and so it was just right from the get-go a good blast and a good group of boys, and it was good to play on a team like that because you could literally feel a sense at any time we rocked up to any pitch, like the other team was like, oh, Bentley's here, and it was good. It was a good feeling.
And now you're at Caroline Springs, George Cross. Pressure's on now. What do you most enjoy about George Cross?
I really do actually. I'm very happy where I'm at here. Mark Sultana, he's built, and the whole crew there. They really built a good, vibrant community. Eddie Gauci was a big part of that. I came in and met him, and he was amazing to me and everybody else. I can't say enough good things about him. He was just always at the club, always involved. I remember he was literally on the field on his hands and knees, like just putting grass back in that came off from the game before, just pushing it back in. He was such a humble person, and I'm really devastated to see him go. But he was a big part of building this community, and it's just you can literally see, like, game by game, there's a few more people coming. There's more kids and supporters in the locker room after we win a game for cheering, and it's just, we're building something good, and it's exciting to be part of.
Hearing that cheering after games, it's something I still haven't got my head around, because it's something you don't do in the UK. I'm sure they do it in Canada. They certainly and certainly in the Americas, it's that way. But certainly coming from the UK, I still struggle with it. But I have to say, it is a fantastic end to a game to see, players, kids, parents, supporters, club people in the club rooms after the game singing the club song. I think it's a fantastic. I know when I had Cardiff City came over 2 years ago to do some stuff for me, they couldn't believe I took them to a couple of games, and they couldn't believe that there was this singing in the changing rooms after the game. And one of them said, I'm going to go and try and do that with the academy boys. And so, good luck. But it is a fantastic end to a spectacle to winning a game,
No, I generally love it. It's you just get a good vibe in there, and the kids get to you get a real connection with the community, with the supporters. So I really like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Ethan, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you and getting a little bit of an insight into Ethan Gage. But on a final note, you got another Canadian there, or fellow Canadian there at the club, who also started down in Geelong, but not at Karaya, Daniel Kuczynski, or DK as he's known. Both being compatriots from Canada. Have you got this extra added little bit of competition amongst yourselves to see who does well each week, or and what's the banter, and what's it like having DK there at the club as well?
No, it's good to have him there. It was just a funny scenario how we first met, I suppose, in Geelong. Just the randomness of it, because we both have similar lifestyles where we've bounced around a fair few countries playing around, and just to end up in Geelong and two different teams, it was just funny. But we hung out a lot in Geelong because we live very close together, and then we kind of fell out of touch a bit over the COVID year and whatnot. But then for him to come over and join the club, and he's a gun of a player. Most people know who he is. He's a top-notch striker. He's gonna do damage in this league. I think he's one of the players that needs just a little bit of fine-tuning, but he's doing a lot of damage. Just the final product with scoring, but it's good to have him. Good banter. He's got two doors down on the locker, 2 lockers down for me. So let's have some jokes to talk about Canadian stuff. So
you don't smear the maple syrup all over his locker when he comes in. And, who was this? Give away maple syrup.
Like a Canadian flag, and we can just put on ours, our locker rooms there.
And Michael Long's just commented on the social here. Coming from Canada, the winter in Melbourne would be like summer for you.
Yeah, it's not much of a winter here. You guys get to like -1 at max. Over in Canada, it can get down to -35, 40. So your winter here is basically my summer. I'll still walk around.
And do you still walk around in shorts in the winter, or have you acclimatized?
Shorts, it's tanning weather for me almost.
Yeah.
Great to have you on board. It's a fantastic, Ethan, and you bring a little bit of that colour to the dressing rooms there at Caroline Springs, George Cross. Really looking forward to watching you. And speaking of Karaya Soccer Club, your first club, for those that are interested, tomorrow night's Geelong Region Soccer Show, our sister program, will be featuring Karaya Soccer Club. We will be having Mario Gregorio, the president, as one of the guests, and also a special guest, another import who has had a big influence on the fortunes of Karaya Soccer Club in recent years, MJ Monaghan. MJ Monaghan will be joining us from the UK. He had a massive impact 2 years ago at Corio, and he was basically part responsible for Corio getting to State 1. He's so that should be fantastic tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Ethan, thank you very much for joining us once again, and all the best for season 2021.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, guys.
All the best, Ethan.
All the best. Yeah.
That was Ethan Gage, the vice president, Craig.
Vice president? Vice captain, I think he is.
Captain. Geez, after Mark Sultana said I was on the ball this week, I've really started to drop it the last few minutes, haven't I? But, hey, we're going to take a quick break. A couple of commercial sponsors have to say a couple of things, obviously, namely Sunbury Indoor Sports. But when we return, mate, we've got a colleague from our media, a media colleague, if you like, and she's the media manager at George Cross, Tony Tenaglia. Really looking forward to that, Craig. Don't go away, guys.
Under new management, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre is proud to provide the wider Sunbury community with a whole new fresh look and feel, covering all forms of indoor sports from indoor soccer, cricket.
Are you opening a new business or want to improve your current exposure to drive more customers? Then talk to our team at Principal Signs. We have over 30 years' experience of helping businesses like yours stand out from the crowd. We can design, manufacture and install a range of signs, either permanent or temporary, at an affordable price without compromising on quality. A signage supplier with a reliable reputation. You can trust the team at Principal Signs to ensure that you make the best decision for your business and your budget. We are passionate about giving you a standout experience in customer service and ensure that we exceed your expectations every time. For more information, find us on Facebook or check out our testimonials and work examples on www.principalsigns.com.au or call Ray on 0406 728873 for a quote. Mention this ad for a 10% discount off your first order.
Welcome back to the Football Out West show. It's episode 54, Craig. We're nearing the end of it, but the voiceover of that advert was provided by our next guest, and it's an absolute pleasure to introduce to the show. She's been waiting for so long, but she's been in the green room virtually right since the start of the program. But she's finally escaped the green room and made it to the studio. Tony Tenaglia. Tony, absolute pleasure having you on the show. How are you?
Hey guys, how are you? How's it going there? Craig, happy birthday to you as well. Hope you hope you had a great night, but by the looks of things you did. So
he didn't have a great night, but the rest of us did.
Yeah, exactly right. Just I look like I'm a ghost there, don't I? I've got too much light in this room. The lighting's just gone berserk.
Yeah, I've got this complexion about me that's just not looking good. I'm going to have to do some makeup. Hang on a sec. Oh, that's better.
That's better. Damn, where's mine? I don't have one.
Hold on tight. We're going to start mass producing the Craig Filer 50th birthday commemorative masks. Now, Craig, put your volume up because
I can't hear you, Craig. I know. I'm getting old as well, but I'm not quite well. I was going to say not quite where you are, but maybe I am.
While Craig sorts out his volume issues, it's like last night's birthday party. At one stage, the music was so low. We go, is it a 50th birthday or is it a 70th birthday? It's like, turn your hearing aids up a little bit. back.
Man.
He's back.
I had to switch off. Sorry. Yes. Thank you very much, Tony. It's great to have you on board. I did have a heavy night last night, as I said before. My head certainly telling me it was a good party.
Yeah.
So
from what you remember.
And the state of the house this morning when my wife got up to. I actually got up to get a headache tablet and thought, I'm not tidying this lot up. I went back to bed.
Oh, you didn't. Don't tell me you left it for her to do. Did you?
Of course.
Man, seriously.
That's what we do.
Yeah, okay.
Tony, let's turn our attention to the George Cross Football Club. You're involved there and do some amazing stuff. Not just obviously for the football side of things, but also the bistro. Tell us a little bit of the stuff that you do there at Fraser Rise.
Okay, so my role is social media manager, which means obviously I look after the social media. So it's all about promoting the club, but also promoting the bistro, Georgie's on Vista. So it's pretty much, I don't want to make it sound as simple as I'm going to, it's just putting up posts, So like I said, it sounds simple, but at the same time, you've got to look at what you're putting up. You've got to look at what days you're putting stuff up. You've got to look at the information that you're providing. You've got to make sure the photos are right. And especially with Instagram. I mean, Facebook, obviously the photos are important, but not as much as Instagram. And Instagram has, a certain look about it. So it's just making sure that the right photos are going up on both pages. And I mean, I've had many a time when photos are sent to me and I've gone, sorry, hasn't made the cut. It's not going up, But the good thing is that when those photos come in, it gives me a chance then to explain to whoever has sent them to me. And I'm talking obviously people within the club who've been so used to maybe doing something a little bit different in the past. But it's just given me that opportunity also to help them understand why I need photos to look a certain way, and just how much that does impact what people are seeing and getting them into the club, I suppose. So,
and what impact is social media now on life in general? It's sort of taken over with the iPhones and the Androids now. It's if it's not Facebook, it's Instagram, it's Twitter, it's Snapchat, it's whatever. How important is social media now for clubs like George Cross?
Well, not even just clubs like George Cross, just for any club it's important because that's where people look for information. I mean, look, you will still have a handful of people that will go to the websites, but generally people are going to Facebook or Instagram to look up information about the clubs. So it's very rare. And I know, look, I would probably say it's older school that go to websites, but it's I'm
social media. I'm definitely on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, exactly right. So if you want to find out where a team is playing, or you want to find out the scores, or you want to find out, I suppose even with the bistro, what's going on, are you going to go to the website? You're not, are you? You're going to go straight to either Instagram or Facebook. So it's almost like that medium has actually overtaken the website. It's still important to have a website because there will be people that will look for that, but majority of people are looking for stuff on social media.
And I guess sorry, Craig, go.
Sorry, the post that you sort of put up regarding the B Street, have you seen that because of the social media element of what you're posting, that you're getting more of a turnover of clientele into the bistro, for instance?
Look, I think regardless of what you do, that bistro is always going to be successful. I don't have to put anything up. The only reason I do put stuff up is so the information is there. But regardless, people will come to that bistro. And especially game day. I mean, I was working yesterday. I hosted the President's Lunch. I was there for the game because I had to do all the social media through the game. And I'd said to the guys in the bistro after we'd finished the President's Lunch, I said, listen, the photographer and I, we want to just quickly grab a bite afterwards. Is that going to be okay?
That was Mark Gavigliano, wasn't it?
I can't even get a seat in the bistro. Now they did manage to squeeze a little table in a corner for us. So
in the cloakroom.
That's close enough. I can tell you how many people went to the toilet that night. I'm telling you. But it was that. I mean, that's the thing that the club or the bistro, is going to be successful, regardless of what I put up. So my focus is not so much trying to get the people in because they're going to be there. It's getting the information up so that they know what is on what particular nights. They know what the food is that they can order before they even get there. So for me, it's important having the right photos of the food that I can promote what's on the menu.
Well, on that, here's one for you. Michael Long.
Yes.
He misses the spaghetti omelette in the kids' menu. So
the spaghetti omelette.
Apparently so.
What the? Okay, now that's never been there in my lifetime.
In the kids' menu. I'm not sure whether
a Malaysian specialty, Michael.
Michael, I think you're making that up.
Spaghetti omelette. Tony, we see with clubs, we have such a wide diversity of clubs across the western suburbs, from NPL the way to State 5 and what you're not. And they have varying degrees of success when it comes to promoting their brand, which is their club. Yeah. And we see the clubs that embark on, good social media campaigns and ongoing social media campaigns, particularly the ones that are putting up scores and updates. They seem to be the clubs that are really doing well on and off the field. In your eyes, is there a direct correlation between those clubs that promote the club, the brand name, and success on the field?
I know you can't. What am I going to turn around now and say the reason our team's won 4 in a row is because of the social media?
Not short term, but I'm talking long term, because the overall success of the club leads to success on the field, etc., etc.
Look, I think the success on the field is what's going to make the club successful, because if you're winning, people are going to come watch the game. And I mean, you look at the AFL, A-League, when those teams are doing well, they've got the supporter base. They've got people going to the games. They've got, you know what I mean? So, look, social media brings awareness to the club and brings awareness to the team, but it's not what's going to make a club or a team successful. Yeah. So I would say, no, it's not going to make the club successful. It's going to help make people aware of the club and make people aware of what's going on at the club. I mean, like, give you an example, okay? George Cross, and I sat here today and I thought, how many teams do we actually have at this club, right? We've got nearly 40 teams between NPL, Metro, State League, Women's, like mini Roos, like junior, like, do you know what I mean? And that alone, it's like, how many people know that? How many people know how many games each week we need to work around? And I was talking to Lisa, who's our general manager, and I said to her, listen, I believe we need to promote this, because this actually lets people know that we're a club that mean business and we're here to be successful. And so this week what I did, and I'm going to be doing it now on a weekly basis, is I put up one post that lists all the games for the weekend. And I'm talking starting from the senior men's, going right down to mini Roos, and in between all of that is Metro, Community, NPL, Women's. Do you know what I mean? Everything is in there. And so I put up a post, I think it was Friday, that listed everything. And just even looking at that, and that didn't have everything on it because mini Roos hasn't even started yet, right? So there was still at least 10 teams missing off that list. And I looked at that and I went, wow, and then I put it up, and somebody even commented and said, and okay, I'm going to paraphrase this, but pretty much was saying that's pretty impressive, and that's what it's about. It's showing what the club is capable of doing and showing what we are doing. Like we've brought on board Mark Avellino as our photographer, and Mark's work is amazing. I was at Green Gully 2 years ago. I was the social media manager there, and Mark and I worked together at Green Gully. And, when I was at Gully, I mean, I was promoting everything. Women's, I had every... Mark usually took the photos of our seniors and our under 20s, which are now 21s. And then we had another photographer, Paul Crosley, who would then take the photos of all the NPL. And between Paul and I, because Paul couldn't do everything, I was taking photos as well. So for me, it was all about putting up the photos of the kids and putting up, albums of their games and things like that. And we found that just the pages grew, because it brought more people to the pages. And this is what I'm finding even now with the George Cross pages. I mean, I had one weekend on Facebook, which it's not going to sound like a lot, but we had 30 new likes to the page just within just over 24 hours. Now, for me, I've gone, that's huge. It's growing. For me, it's all about growing those pages and getting those people to like the pages, because they're going to get the information. And the more people you have liking your pages, the more people are going to see your information. So that's what,
Yeah, but I know, talking to a few club presidents and what you're not, and some actually swear black and blue that it's because of I guess, their social media presence now, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever the case, they've been able to attract quality players, particularly players from overseas like imports. And it's that awareness and that presence. And sometimes one club president once said to me, he goes, "Oh, we signed this player and he thought that we were bigger than we really were because we had such an impressive type of a social media presence."
Yeah.
Now, we're not saying that, you're going to go out and lie and this and that, whatever.
Yep.
But it's the way, I guess, you market your club, your brand name. Yeah. And social media is such an important tool.
Oh, it is. It is, and that's what
to everyone.
And that's what I was saying before too. That those players aren't going to be on Facebook. Aren't going to be on the website looking up your information. They go straight to Facebook and Instagram. Medias, and so when they see you're active, regardless of what you're putting up, if you're an active social club, as in with social media, that's what they see. I mean, I obviously have to answer emails and messages that come through Messenger. And the amount of people that are players from overseas that want to come and play for George Cross, but again, what we got to remember, I don't look at that and go, "Oh wow, they think we're fantastic. They want to come play for us." I look at that and go, "And how many other clubs have you also messaged with the exact same message?" But seriously, because that is what they're doing. Yeah. And I had the same thing happening at Green Gully because when you read through their messages, how they've written it, that you're not the only one that's received that message. Yeah. And you know that half the time that they probably haven't even written it. That it's a copy and paste from somewhere else. And I know that sounds awful and sounds like a weird thing to say. Yeah. But look, you are going to jag a good player or two. But again, you can't rely on social media to be what's going to bring the good players to the club. At the end of the day, you have to have a good system in place. You've got to have a good team. You've got to have a good coaching structure. You've got to have a good admin. Exactly right. The culture's got to be right. Absolutely. How many of those players who've now gone to these clubs and have gone, "Geez, you're not as good as I thought you were. Where's the next plane out of here?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you can create. I mean, I can sit here and make George Cross sound like an an A-League team, and trust me, I've had a few overseas thinking we are. It's got nothing to do with my social media, but you know what I mean. Like I can very easily do that, but that's not going to long term be the answer to what's going to make a club successful.
Absolutely.
So,
and just looking at the George Cross, Caroline Springs George Cross Facebook page here, the posts are fantastic. I mean, 5,000 likes I think you've got on off.
For the page,
5,000 and that's good. And everybody else then that clicks on the Facebook page throughout the day, throughout the week. The content's fantastic, and I think you said earlier on, it's all about the content.
Yeah, it
is.
Content
has to be right.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not professing to be an expert at what I do. Trust me. I shouldn't say that. Hopefully Mark's not listening right now.
He's gone to bed, don't worry.
Good.
He's tired.
But the thing is, look, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, okay, I work in the radio industry. I work for Gold 104.3 and I do the afternoon show. I'm a radio announcer. That's what I am. My job is radio announcer.
And congratulations on your success this week. I did see a post from yourself.
Yes, nice little quick plug there. I had very good survey results. So
there it is.
Yes, number one. Well, I mean, look, I'm lucky.
Tell us more about this. Yeah.
All right. So I work for Gold.
More importantly, before we go on to that, when are you going to call me when the $10,000? Is when are you going to give me a little nudge?
And do you know what? If I had $1 for every person that asked me that, I'd be easily making 20K. Like seriously, So just quickly on that, I work for Gold 104.3. We are the number one FM station in Melbourne. And 3AW are number one overall. So you got AM stations, FM stations. 3AW are number one overall. We are number two as far as that figure goes. But for FM, we're number one, and we are actually number one by, quite a good margin as well. I can't even tell you who's behind us, so that's how far ahead we are. But having said
Mark Sultani is listening. There he is.
Yes, he is.
Watch what you say.
I know exactly what I'm doing. Trust me. So we had our survey results come out during the week, and they come out every sort of 8 weeks, give or take, and that pretty much is an indication of how many people are listening to you. It's like likes on Facebook and and Instagram, and so. We're number one across the board on our station, but we're number one FM in breakfast, mornings, drive, and at night. But for my show, I'm actually number one outright. So I even beat 3AW in the afternoon. And at the moment, I'm tooting my own horn here. I like this. But I get excited because I had a really good book and I hit 15%, which I know doesn't sound like a huge number, but in radio terms, it's massive. And for our radio station, like it's a number we haven't seen for a while. And although having said that, I did have a book. I started 2 years ago at the station, and during the year I hit nearly 18%. So like it's really good, and I'm pretty excited about the fact that I am rating as well as I am. So
you should be. I listen in certainly when I'm out in the car. But you've also we'll give you another plug, opportunity to plug your podcast that you also do.
Yes, about the podcast.
Yes, I've got nothing else to do. Hey, I'm radio, podcast, social media for Georgies. Yes, I do a podcast called Life as We Know It. I do it with two other ladies. Their names are Lisa and Steph, and it's a podcast that features three women from three different generations. So you've got one of us representing the 50-year-olds, one of us representing the 40-year-olds, and one of us representing the 30-year-olds. Won't tell you which category I fall into. Not even going to give you a chance to guess, right?
You're not getting anything from me.
Behave yourselves. And so, so that's we just have a lot of fun on that. And like, you would think it's three women talking about life stuff. It's a chick podcast. It's not, to be honest. We got a lot of guys that listen to it for two reasons, because we're funny, of course, but they reckon that they get some good information out of us. Which then helps them with their wives, girlfriends, partners, whatever else. But it's just entertaining. I don't want to say it's lighthearted, but it can be lighthearted. But at the same time, we just have a lot of fun with it, and I describe it as us talking crap, pretty much. And I even introduce it that way sometimes. I go, "Welcome to Life as We Know It. Three women from three generations. Blah 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 blah. We're here just to talk crap." But we have fun, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, just having a bit of a laugh and having some fun.
There it is on the screen now. You can listen to it on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, and Spotify.
Yeah, or any other podcast platform, to be honest. I probably should update that graphic on our page. I'm too busy on the Georgie's pages. I've completely forgotten about ours.
That's right, Mark. She's too busy. She's too busy. Hasn't got time even for her own things. There you go.
Oh, my God. Tell me about it. Do you want to come see me? I should take you on a tour around my house at the moment. Oh, my God.
Craig's taken us on the tour of his house and ended up in the garage once upon a time because the internet was so bad. Remember that, Craig?
I think I watched that show.
Yeah, it was dreadful, wasn't it?
We're reminiscing about that last night. Don't you worry about that. That's for sure. But Tony, look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on board. And you do so much stuff behind the scenes. In fact, today you were running around trying to organise the guests, and it was crazy as it was. But you did a fantastic job, and we had a great show tonight.
I was going to say, even during the show, I'm sitting here messaging Ethan, and Ethan's going, "Am I going live? Like, is it camera? Is it on the phone?" No, and I'm sitting in the green room, and I said, "No." I said, "You've got to be on camera for it, So that was cool. And he goes, "Is it okay if I jump on now?" I said, "Yeah, sure. You and I'll sit in the green room together." I said, "We won't see each other. We can't talk to each other, but we'll be in the green room together." So all of that while the show was actually on.
Yeah, and actually everything went smoothly. I think the only thing that didn't go smoothly was when I accidentally hit the eject button for Ethan. And
that's why I sent him a text straight away. Yeah, and get back on. He's just dumped you off.
And Craig put his volume down because he was giving us a birthday present that we didn't have to listen to him.
Oh, so funny. Yeah. We'll give you one of them, shall we?
On that note, Tony, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
really was. Oh, there's a little bit of laughter.
He's at it again.
Yep. The Gremlins are laughing away.
Really appreciate you giving up your Sunday evening to come on. Thanks for all your help in organising this today. As Mark said there, that's the reason why you're at Caroline Springs, George Cross. You're doing a great job.
Can I just say very quickly, just with Mark, he makes me laugh, right? So I was actually...
Does he?
I was at... he's listening. Yes, he does. I was actually at Green Gully 2 years ago, and we were putting together the Maltese Cup, and we had to have this meeting. And I'd never met Mark. I didn't know who Mark was, or I knew he was the president of George's, but didn't know anything about him, right? And I rocked up for this meeting, and no joke, I didn't even sit down yet. And the first thing he says to me is, "You're coming to work for us." I'm like, "Hi, I'm Tony. How are you?" And sure enough, Mark got his way.
Yeah.
Good on him. Good on you, Tony,
Great,
as
mate.
well. And thank you very much. Wishing you all the very best with the podcast, with Gold
Thank you.
FM, and your social media manager role at George
Thanks,
Cross Football
guys.
Club.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Tony. Speak to you soon.
Good on you. That was Tony Tenaglia, the social media manager at George Cross Football Club. Craig brings us to the end of another show. Mate, off to bed for you.
Oh, I'm straight in there, mate. I'm ready. Got my jammers on already, man. I'm just jumping straight in.
Don't stand up. I'm too scared to worry.
Morning.
Yeah, good to where?
I'm off to Sydney tomorrow for work for a few days. So I haven't been on a plane for 2 years. So just got to try and find myself to get the airport and then off to Sydney for a few days.
They don't have any turbulence, and Saturday night's food and drink will be coming up. No, mate, all the very best. And we will catch up with you at our normal time slot of Friday night, 7 p.m. next week. And we'll see, folks, early May. Stay tuned. There could be some major changes on board. Yeah. So, mate, all the very best once again.
Yeah, perfect. Great show. Thanks to
happy birthday to everyone.
Thanks to Mark, Eric, Tony, and Ethan for a great show. Another great insight into George Cross. And look forward to catching up with everybody on Friday evening.
Absolutely. Good night, mate. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Looking for a venue for your next event? Our function room at George's on Vista is the perfect place for your next special celebration. That special birthday or anniversary, a baptism, communion, or confirmation? Whatever the celebration, we can provide a fun and enjoyable atmosphere with great food. Why not hold your next corporate event in our function room? We can seat up to 100 people and can provide you with a professional environment. Whether you're looking to hold a stand-up or sit-down event, we can cater to your needs. We have meal plans and platters for you to choose from. For more information, send an email to info@georgesonvista.com.au. There's no better place out west to hold your next function than at George's on Vista,